We must protect the queen.
You must not let anyone define your limits.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Rod, and welcome to Impact TCG. Now, I just want to thank everyone who tuned into my last video. Right now, it's got like over 4,000 views. For a channel my size, that's great. It feels great. Thank you all. And to show my appreciation, I will be giving one lucky subscriber the Cinderella Wombo combo, especially this elusive Amber Cinderella right here, the one drop. That's a Singer 3. I will be giving both of these cards away. All you have to do to enter the giveaway is subscribe to the channel and comment below on this video. You'll automatically be entered into the drawing, and I will have someone picked at random to be announced in the following video after I have reached 400 subscribers. So once I reach 400, the video following that, I will be announcing the winner of the giveaway. Thank you all so much. Now, you know I got some habanero pepper type of spice for you today. My Amethyst Steel variant that I've been messing around with. It is super fun. I've called it Protect the Queen. And this deck right here, let's go ahead and take a look at what I have here for you. So as you can see here, this is not your typical Amber Steel build right here. Not that many Amber cards to begin with, but the deck is built around the Queen Commanding Presence. This is a really good card. A 5-drop that you can get out turn 2 is so freaking broken. And she's able to sing songs early like Whole New World and Grab Your Sword. So the deck is really built around her hints. Protect the Queen, and you can see we have a lot of bodyguards here in the deck. Now, I specifically wanted to use the Musketeer bodyguard cards for this deck. It's been so fun, and I've actually beaten some really good decks out there, as you guys will be able to see here soon. So this deck is nothing to scoff at. I mean, some of you may turn away and be like, why is he running the Musketeers? Trust me, this is a really good deck. It's fun. It can beat the meta decks, and it's very worth experimenting right here. So first we have 4 copies of the Queen, the 1-drop, 4 copies of Tiana, the 1-drop. I really like her because of her 3 willpower. She's able to survive a lot of those early steel removals like Let the Storm Rage On, which we are running. 4 copies of Prince Eric to deal with aggro. 4 copies of Doc, just because Doc is good. He quests for 2 and he's like a lantern. 4 copies of the Prince, the first bodyguard here in the deck. If you don't know anything from my last video, you know I like the Prince. That resist +1 on that 3 willpower is nothing to scoff at all, and he also quests for 2. But this is typically the first bodyguard that comes out with your Queen, depending on how on curve you're playing and your opening. But next we have our next bodyguard, 4 of the Donald Duck Musketeer. He is a 4-drop on a 2/5 body. Only quest for 1, but is a bodyguard, and his ability gives all of your Musketeer characters evasive during your turn. Next we have Goofy, a 5-drop, so he can sing some of the bigger songs as well. Bodyguard on a 3/6 body, very hefty right there. When he comes out, he gets to heal either one of your other Musketeer characters that's on the field. Then of course we got the 4 copies of the Queen Commanding Presence, one of the best cards in the game right now. 4 copies of Emo Sad Beast, we love to see it. 4 copies of course of the coolest Musketeer, Mickey Mouse, on a 2/7 body. 6-drop, yes, but we're playing lanterns and we're playing docks, so you're able to get this out a lot earlier than you may think, more often than you think. 4 copies of Smash for removal, 3 copies of Let the Storm Rage On, 3 copies of Whole New World, 3 copies of Grab Your Sword, 3 copies of Lantern, and 4 copies of my tech right here, Mouse Armor. Now, Mouse Armor on putting that extra resist on some of these bodyguard characters is just really good. It makes them that much harder to get over. And I also like to use it on the queen. Like, so even though she's a 5-drop, her stats are only 4-3. So that makes her an easy target for cards like Smash or Strength of a Raging Fire for her to be destroyed without even being attacked. So using the Mouse Armor to prevent that little damage right there really helps. It's just a tech right here. You can replace this with anything you want. You can replace a lot of these cards with anything that you want. I could even be playing Rapunzel's or Strength of a Raging Fires, but for some reason this build right here has just been working out for me. I've been playing with it on ladder, and speaking of ladder, let's go ahead and get into the first match. Alright, so looking at the first match, we're actually going to be playing Ruby Amethyst. Obviously the best deck in the game right now. It's been ruining a lot of people's lives. It's okay, but you can see I went up with a lot of high cost cards and some uninkables. I decided to put those back. I'm always mulliganing for the queen, the small queen and the big queen, and I'm also looking for Whole New World early because you run through cards really fast in this matchup. I go ahead and I ink right there, and I pass over to my opponent. He inks a Maui, plays the Mickey Mouse, standard Ruby opening play right there. I draw into a Donald Duck. I don't need him this early, so I go ahead and I ink him. I also have one in hand, but I go ahead and I play the Prince Eric to put a little bit of pressure on his Minnie Mouse, may even prevent her from questing, is my thought process on that in this game. Goes ahead, he inks right there, and in this case he does end up questing with the Minnie Mouse, playing the Madam M right after to bounce it and protect it. I draw into a Let the Storm Rage On right here, so kind of easy to go ahead and ink the second queen that I already have in hand, and I go ahead and I play a Prince. Play him exerted, and I go ahead and I quest my Prince Eric just to get onto the board. Pass over to my opponent. He goes ahead, he inks the Minnie Mouse. Totally fine with me. Goes ahead and he quests with the Madam Mim and plays a Madam M Fox. He's going to bounce the snake back to his hand. He's going to ram into my Prince. That's fine with me. My Prince Eric is still on the board. I draw into a baby queen right here, and I go ahead and I play the baby queen, and I immediately shift into my big queen because I really want to end up singing Whole New World as soon as I can, because I'm already low on cards and my opponent's got a full hand over there. And I really don't like Amethyst players keeping characters out on board because I know that they have to bounce. So I go ahead and I run my Prince Eric into the Fox, inking the Donald and passing the turn back over to my opponent. He inks a Titan Ambition. He hard casts Friends on the Other Side. Makes me feel kind of good. He goes ahead and he plays the Olaf out. I'm totally fine with that turn. I go ahead and I'm deciding if I want to ink this dock or just go ahead and play it. And ultimately I go ahead and I ink it, and I decide to go ahead and sing the Whole New World because why not in this case. And I draw into a fairly decent hand. I'm fine with it. I go ahead and I play a dock. I could have played a Goofy right there, but he's starting to go a little higher in ink, and I don't want to risk getting run over with a Maui, which I could say that I probably could have or should have played a Goofy. But you'll see right here, it ends up working out for me. He quests with Olaf. And he actually goes ahead and he inks the Maui. So he obviously has another Maui in his hand, which he does play. Runs over my queen, but now Maui has 4 damage on him. I'm fine with that. I draw into a baby queen. Not really the best thing for me to draw into right here, but I say screw it, and I go ahead and I hard cast the grab your swords. I go ahead and I ink Goofy since I have to. I quest with the dock to basically play that baby queen that I did draw out for free, and I use the mouse armor to put a little bit of protection on dock. At this point, I don't really expect the dock to survive a turn, but it's looking a little grim right here, but just keep watching, guys. I'm able to overcome this somewhat of a card advantage deficit. He inks a Queen of Hearts, so he's at 6 ink. So of course, once those Ruby players get to 6, you know the Lady Tremaine is a threat. In this case, he plays Yzma, and he doesn't decide to shuffle back any of my cards, but he does shuffle back his own. He wants that draw power. I'm fine with that. I get to start my turn with both of my characters still on board, which I did not expect to. Now right here, I've got a decision to make. The Yzma isn't really a threat right now anymore, but she could be bounced back. But the Yzma is not what scares me in this deck. It's all those top end Ruby cards that they have. But I go ahead and I end up playing the Beast for 1 less cost, hoping that it survives a turn and I'm able to actually get some draw power. Nothing's guaranteed. I mean, he's about to be at 7. I pass back over to him knowing darn well a Be Prepared is probably imminent. He quests with the Yzma. And you'll see once I saw that he played the GOAT, I knew right there that he didn't have the Be Prepared, or he just didn't want to use it. But it looks like he's digging for it. But we're pretty much almost even at lore. I do end up getting my double draw off of the Beast, and it was actually pretty solid. So now I have decisions to make. I don't want to commit too hard into a board just to get Be Prepared. I go ahead and I quest with the dock, I quest with the queen, and I go ahead and I quest with the Beast as well. The mouse armor, going on to the Beast, it really didn't matter in this situation with our mouse armor. I decided to go ahead and smash the GOAT. Now, I like to go ahead and get rid of cards like the GOAT and sometimes the Rabbit, because I mean they're gonna get that extra lore at some point. Like they're gonna get everything that they can out of it. I may as well get rid of it now. Let them get their lore. Let them get their draw. Well, I want to control the board, especially with this deck. He goes ahead and quests with the Yzma, and he definitely bounced it back. Yeah, that's actually a kind of a busted combo, but he's shuffling his own cards back. I don't know in this case if he was just digging for the Be Prepared, probably, he just didn't have it because that's 2 turns now that he didn't play it. But my turn comes back around and I still get my double draw with the beast. I quest, I'm like, screw this, I'm going up as much as I can because I know some sort of board wipe is coming, some sort of removal is coming. You just have to think like that when you're playing against Ruby Amethyst. I play out another prince just to put a little bit of pressure on my opponent. If he has to be prepared, he has it. But if not, I at least can get some protection from a Maui or a Lady Tremaine so I can have enough to quest for next turn. He ends up seeing the friends on the other side. He's got so many cards in hand. He's just digging. He inks the Olaf. Now he's at 9. That opens him up to Maleficent Dragon. You just never know what you're going to get, but you know you're going to get something going against arguably the best deck in the format. And what do you know? There it is. That's okay with me. I knew what the risk was playing all those cards out, but now at this point, I'm daring him to have another Be Prepared. At this point, I'm just like, screw it. I'm just gonna put as much as I can out on the field. If you have something for it, you just have something for it. Good game. But I'm gonna put that pressure on. And yeah, I end up just saying screw it, and I play the Mickey. I play the Mickey specifically because he can quest for 2, and that'll get me just a little closer. And I'm still able to ink the Goofy to play a queen. So at least I am possibly set up to quest for 3. And I honestly don't really expect to be prepared right here. It doesn't seem worth it to me if I were him at this point. He quests with his mini. He gets up to 11. And even though a Be Prepared would kind of hurt in this situation because I currently don't have any characters in hand, but he does end up playing the Maleficent. In this case, he gets to choose what is banished. I draw into what I think is like the worst possible card for me to draw into in this situation. But I'm up in lore. He can only get up to 3 lore next turn. So I'm just like, okay, let me do a little damage on the Maleficent. Let me get a little draw. And I just play what I can. I play a Lantern and I try to set myself up for next turn. Putting the mouse armor on the queen's not gonna really do anything in the situation. Pass back over. It looks pretty grim. It looks like that he can definitely take control of this game. But he decides to go ahead and quest with the Maleficent and the mini and not crash into my Maleficent. But that doesn't mean that he won't. Obviously, with the engine that he plays the Mauis, he plays the Madame Foxes. So I do know that that's still possible. He does play a snake. Bounces his Maleficent. Inks another snake and plays the Maleficent, and he gets rid of my queen. It's looking pretty rough for me right here, and I draw into a Donald Duck, and that's not really gonna help me in this situation. I know that he can quest for 4 right there, but you know, if he's got goats in his hand, you know, that can pretty much end the game next turn if I don't go ahead and hard cast this whole new world. And it looked like such a very horrible decision, but it ends up working out, guys. It's insane. I used the Lantern, so now I'm pretty much going to play something very low cost. I'm going to try to get 2 characters on board just to kind of set myself up, and I thought the Prince was a perfect one for this situation because he can quest for 2, and I can just play a 1-drop Tiana right here, and I've got game on board. So now he better have the Be Prepared, or he better have some other type of removal. Obviously, I don't put the Prince exerted. I don't want him to get ran over. But honestly, if he had a goat and a way to bounce the goat right here, he could indeed win this game. He inks the Queen of Hearts at 12 ink. It's insane how how much ink that they're able to get, because they're able to draw so many cards. You see right here, he plays the go. He goes up to 19, and I just know that he has something to bounce the goat right here. But in this situation, he does not. He's trying to draw into it with Maleficent. You see, it gets really, really intense right here. And I'm like, what is this guy doing? He's going to draw it. But he only plays the mini evasive. And that is the game right there. He had so much card advantage on the board, in his hand, and so much more ink than I did. But I'm able to pull that one out. Alright, let's go to the next game right here. In this one right here, I'm actually going second, and my opening isn't terrible, but there are definitely some cards that I'd rather not see right now. And like I said in the last game, I'm digging for baby queens and big queens, and I happen to open up with the big queen with a whole new world, but I don't mulligan for the little queen. But we're gonna work with what we got. This matchup right here is against Amethyst Steel, a sleeper color combination in the meta right now, but very, very good in the right hands. It's been able to top some events. I go ahead and I ink the Donald. Don't need him right now, but don't have any one drops right here, so I go ahead and pass back over, and they start playing those little guys that can quest for 2 and 3 in Amethyst. You might want to get something on the board as quickly as possible, but I do have my Prince Eric for next turn. He inks a goat, and he plays another Maleficent, of course. So he's threatening to have 6 lore next turn. What am I gonna do about it? All I can do is ink and play a card right here. I go ahead and I ink the Goofy. Don't need him right now. And I go ahead and I do play the Prince Eric, and you know I'm gonna have to run something over next turn, or he is just gonna continue to quest. He goes ahead. He does go up to 6, and smartly plays a Madam Mim Snake to bounce the Maleficent, to play it again to protect it. It's fine with me. I draw into a Let the Storm Rage On. He hasn't taken too much advantage of drawing cards right now, so I still feel pretty good in this situation. I go ahead and I ink the Dock. I'd honestly rather just have something like the Prince out, but in this case, I know I have to get rid of some of these tiny little aggro characters, and I know I'm going to lose my Prince Eric next turn, but I go ahead and I run the Maleficent over, so at least he's not questing for 2 and 2 again. Pass back over to him. He indeed runs over Prince Eric with the Snake, and he plays a Tinkerbell, so in my head I know that he is probably trying to set up for a Tinkerbell Giant Fairy. I do draw into a baby queen, so I know that I could play the small queen and immediately shift, which would be a total of about 3 costs. But I know that the Tinkerbell is coming, and she's going to come out and do 1 damage. So it's something for me to really think about if I really want to do this. Ultimately, I decide to go ahead and do it. I say screw it, because I also know that if she does survive the turn, I'll at least be able to sing Whole New World with her for a fresh new hand, depending on how things are looking. You see, he does play the Giant Fairy, deals 1 damage. Thankfully, she is not exerted right here. He has no more ink, so he can't smash her or let the Storm Rage on her or anything. I draw into the Mickey Mouse, but I ultimately decide to go ahead and ink it. I mean, I really don't have much of a choice. See, in this case, I thought about singing the Whole New World, but I see that he only has 2 cards in hand, so the advantage really isn't on his side much, and I still have the whole new world if I absolutely have to hardcast it later. But I decided to get a little bit more value out of what I have in my hand already. I use a mouse armor on my queen, but I don't play my Prince Exerted because if Tinkerbell runs over him, she can deal 2 damage to my queen, and just like that, my queen could go. But she does have her resist +1. But I'd rather not take that shot. He quests and he plays a baby Maleficent, but he doesn't do anything with the Tinkerbell because he knows what's up with that. And my queen, that's just how good she is. We must protect the queen. So you see, I do go ahead and I play Grab Your Swords. I think I was able to get good value out of that, able to get rid of 2 cards. Now I could quest right here, but I decided not to. Just to kind of survive another turn, I want to keep that board presence. But I do go ahead and mouse armor my queen. He eats the smash, and I'm just like, yes, yes. I don't know why he ate the smash. I think the smash would have been great for him in that situation, and it would have indeed got rid of my queen. I think that would have been enough. But you see right here, I don't even have the whole new world myself. He decides to do it on his own with the Tink. So I know that Tink isn't going to be able to quest for 2. I know that he could play Goats right here, but I'm super satisfied with him having to play the whole new world and not me. Even though it wouldn't have been a problem. And you see the Sorcerer's Spellbook coming out right here. So I know I have to quest as much as I can. I do draw into a Prince Eric low cost character, but I decided to go ahead and ink one of my sad beasts since I have one in hand. I think that this is a really good hand for me right now, especially for this situation. I go ahead and I quest with the queen, and you see I use her ability to give my character +4 strength and their character -4 strength. So I basically get to get rid of the Tinkerbell damage free. Very huge for me in this moment. But I know I have a lot of catching up to do. He's got goats, he's got books. So I play as many small characters as I can. If he wants to use a Grab Your Swords on this turn and use up his 5 of his 6 ink that he's going to have, so be it. I don't care. But Grab Your Swords really isn't going to help him in this situation. He does go ahead and he uses his book. He goes up to 10. He inks friends on the other side. I guess he either had no choice or he feels like he has enough cards. He plays a beast, a sad beast, and I'm thrilled at this point because he didn't play anything that was an immediate threat. So I immediately just start questing away with my characters. And that's getting me closer and closer. And of course, the Queen's ability is mandatory, so you have to pick something to give strength, to take away strength. I do have 2 Goofies, so it was pretty easy to go ahead and decide which card I wanted to ink this turn. And I basically play the Mickey Mouse. I've got 2 bodyguards in the field. We're actively protecting the queen. So, guys, if I'm not playing against Ruby, I'm super aggressive because Ruby's the only one that has the massive board wipe. Everything else gets rid of cards either 1 by 1, like Sapphire, or even like Steel, where you have to do damage. But damage doesn't always help, especially when you have cards with a lot of willpower, such as my Mickey, who he has to get over in order to get over my queen right now. I mean, he could sing one of his damage songs with the beast, but that's not really helping him in the situation. He doesn't indeed do that. That'll get rid of my queen, so we can protect the queen right here. But he did realize that the queen was a threat. I'm totally fine with it because I still have control of the board. My hand size is decent. I'm about to have 4 cards. He goes up to 11, but that doesn't scare me at all. I don't care. Go ahead and I quest with my babies right here. Man, Mickey having that 7 willpower is just so strong. It doesn't seem like it'll be a problem, but it's problematic if you're trying to get rid of other things. The queen's already gone, so it doesn't matter. I decided to ink the smash, and I don't really care about him getting a extra draw right here, but I'd rather him not. So I used let the Storm Rage on, play a Goofy, that'll heal my Mickey, and it's pretty much just, hey man, do something about my board or GG. Now Stormer away. And honestly, I think I tried to play that Goofy exerted, and me not playing it exerted kind of made this come down to the wire a little bit more than it should have. Because I really would have liked to keep the Mickey just because he does quest for 2, but he'd probably get rid of it anyway. You see, he swings into 7. Swings with 7 to my character, and he finishes the Mickey off with the Tinkerbell pain damage. And of course, you know, you gotta play the Madam Mim Rush Fox. Bounces back to Tinkerbell. I know Tinkerbell's not being played this turn again, so that's something to be happy about. Now, if he does have another Fox right here, you know, he would be able to run into something else. And the whole time I'm just thinking, if he can't swing into anything else, if I draw a queen, I win because I can just shift, quest for 2, then quest for 2 more with Goofy and Tiana, and that's game. But he continues to build a board presence right here. He gets rid of my mouse armor, which put in, you know, some work, nothing crazy. I draw into a prince, so now I'm just thinking, how can I do this? Can I survive another turn? And it's possible that I could, but the fact that that deck plays goats, I mean, he could easily play the goat, bounce the goat again with something else, and be able to get game because he also has the book. So I just decided to go ahead and quest with what I have and threaten game myself, and yeah, I pretty much just say, hey man, if you got a goat combo, you're just better than me. And I know that I want to build some sort of board presence again because his damage cards can only do so much with steel. And I don't play the Prince exerted because if he can survive, I quest for game with him. Because I don't know if everything else is gonna survive. I'm actually kind of scared, but I just didn't know if he was gonna have a goat combo. But once he played that sink out, I knew I had the game right there. No longer worried. goes ahead, he decides to quest with as much as he can. He knows that this game is over, you know. People don't always concede, but, you know, I do like allowing your opponents to play out their turns for testing purposes. And boom, right there. You can see we took down Amethyst Steel. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. I hope you guys had a lot of fun watching that. I had a lot of fun playing that deck, and I honestly think that it could even be way better than what it is with a few changes, and that's just the first version. Maybe one day we'll have more in the future, but don't forget, subscribe and comment down below on the video in order to enter the giveaway for the Cinderella Wombo combo, the elusive Singer 3, and the massive Stout-Hearted Cinderellas. Hey, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And don't forget, wherever you go, whatever you do, please make an impact.